more days to go in this series called Unstuck by Kimberly Jones. Um, this one is called If You Ain't Dead, God Ain't Done. Well, God is not done with you yet. And he's not done, excuse me while I adjust this. He's not done with me either. I'm going to read out of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptation to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, he will show you a way out so that you can endure. And it's not just about temptations, it's about the trials of our life, or lives. Where I remember saying this to a cousin who lost her husband, and I said, boy, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. You must be some incredible woman. And it made her laugh in a time of a lot of sorrow. And that really, what I said to her that day is not true. It's not us handling it. It's saying to God, you handle this because I really don't know what to do. I'm going to trust you. And that trust factor is everything. Last summer, I was trying to solve a lot of things myself with my late daughter's condo that she owned. She had passed away 2 years ago on November 19th. And we had to start going through, and this was the property was in Florida, and in Florida, and I'm a paralegal, I know this, and I've worked in probate in Florida. You have to start the probate process, and that can take up to 2 years to go through in Florida, which is it's ridiculous, but it's a complicated process. And so I've worked as a paralegal in that field and started going through it. And honestly, everything was going okay. And she had rented the place out to people, and their lease ended at the end of April. Well, right at that time, a leak developed in the air handler, which was part of the AC unit, was located above in the ceiling of the downstairs first floor bathroom, like a guest bathroom. And the water, it got plugged up. The water started flowing down the walls. It went down the walls and under the wood floor. Yes, so the realtor, you couldn't see it. And when the realtor went in, she couldn't see it because it had just happened. So she went in the beginning of May, and I would say within just a very short time, when she went in the next time, you could push your foot on the wood floor and see the water. So I had a property management company that totally dropped the ball, that my daughter had hired to take care of the property. They totally dropped the ball. And the tenants had reported this. So anyway, being so far away in Tennessee, where I live, and knowing who to hire, it looked like an impossibility. And in the summer, I just had to give it to the Lord because I didn't know what to do. And nobody in my area here, family members, they were steering clear of this topic. And so I just gave it to the Lord. I said, Lord, I don't know what to do. I trust you to figure this out. And in a short time, I got a call from a realtor who said, we'll put the money out to fix this, and then we'll get it back at closing. I mean, this was an answer to prayer, a miracle, total miracle. And I was just shouting hallelujah. I had to give it up and just give it to God. When you're looking at breaking into this field, ask God to show you. I prayed this prayer when I couldn't land a job when I moved to Florida. Ask him to show you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing incorrectly, in order to land that job. And he'll show you. He might lead you somewhere to somebody. He might have you watch videos here. But whatever it is, just be obedient and rely on him. Pray over it. Pray over everything and give it to him instead of trying to control everything yourself and say, I can do it, and that's great that you're proactive. Fantastic. You're putting the effort in, but trust God to bring you to the right workplace, to make you aware of when you shouldn't accept a job or you should. Okay, like I just put up a video today about being aware of red flags, especially with high turnover. Just put up a short video. You should watch that one today. Okay. In the middle of chaos, and this is in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, 8 through 11, Paul and his companions were in a total crisis. As a result of the crisis, and that's what I felt last summer, they testified that they stopped relying on themselves and started relying on God. That's what you need to do. Okay? And this in 2 Corinthians 12, 7 to 10, that's chapter 12, verses 7 to 10, Paul had, if you don't know anything about Paul, he was a brilliant scholar, a brilliant man, looked up to, but also a very evil man, a cruel man, until he came to know the Lord. In fact, his name was Saul, and when he came to know Jesus, Jesus changed his name to Paul. He was given a thorn in the flesh. It could be that he had arthritis, that he was crippled, but he was given a thorn in the flesh. And 3 times he asked for God to heal him, and the Lord said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. It kept Paul very humble. So while God doesn't take our trials away all the time, maybe he'll teach you how to work through it like he did with me, or temptations away. He gives us wisdom and teaches us to sometimes stand back and watch him work. And every situation can be different. Paul said that while he wasn't able in his own flesh to face his own suffering, he found power in knowing that God was with him, that God's grace was enough to provide what he needed. So no matter how bad your situation is, God says he will never leave you nor forsake you. He'll be by your side. Doesn't mean he's going to take everything away. I have arthritis in my feet, in my hips. I have asthma. I have no immune system whatsoever. So when somebody has a cold and I'm in their vicinity, I'm going to get it. But I'll be sick for 3 to 4 weeks, where they might kick that cold in a week. So there are certain things that we have to put up with, in this life, because we're not in that perfect world, which is heaven. We're not there yet. So turn to him. God's not done with you yet. He has a plan and a purpose for you. His plan is to prosper you. If he's pulling you to this career of paralegal, there's a reason for that. And if you start putting up roadblocks of, I'm too old, push that one to the side, because what we do when we say that, that's our excuse. Like, no, Leslie, they're only hiring young people. I had somebody say that right to my face about my employer when there was a job open. We were looking for a part-timer, and my employer, my attorney, was teaching down the hall from our office at a local school, at a local there was a paralegal course that he was teaching in. And so she had applied for, she made, said she was interested. But he, I know why he didn't hire her. She was very in your face, I would say not warm. And he needed, one of the reasons he hired me is because I was so good with the clients. That's from my retail background. And being raised in a very entrepreneurial family where I was exposed to dealing with customers all the time and watched my family do that. But I learned how to do it myself in retail and being a cashier in a supermarket. This girl was very in your face, rude. And he wouldn't hire her with that kind of attitude. He hired somebody that was a waitress. Now listen to what I'm saying. He was out eating lunch. He got to know this waitress was serving him. He liked to go to, not just one place all the time, but he felt he could hire her and teach her. And she became a legal assistant, legal secretary, and she learned her way. So if you think you can't go in the job and learn, think again. He saw how good she was with people, and that to him was at the top of the list. Not every attorney feels like that. They should, but not every attorney does. But if you have that skill with people, even if you're an introvert, just being warm to the client, and kind has to be at the top of the list. Okay? Introvert or not, it's not just extroverts who know how to do this. I have very high introvert tendencies. I was extremely introverted as a child. And as I went into my 20s, I morphed out of that more and more because I was dealing with clients a lot and had to learn how to do that in order to succeed in whatever career I was in. And of course in retail, that really helped me by going into retail first. So he's not done with you yet. You have a lot to learn. Will you give it over to him to teach you? Now, don't forget, if you want to get special pricing on my membership, get on the wait list. You'll see the link in the description box to my website. Go to Accelerator, read about the membership, but then right next to that tab on the website, to the Accelerator tab, is wait list. And get on that. I'm sending out emails this afternoon to those on the wait list and on my email list, and either one, and you'll be able, and I'll put the link. The course will be live and you can get right into the membership. So, and you can opt out anytime you want. That's how memberships should work. That's how mine works. What else can I tell you? Oh, go to my website and join the Paralegal Resource Hub. That is free. Okay? And don't miss out on that. Why not join that? That is free. And have a great day today. He has a plan and a purpose for you. Jeremiah 29:11, Google it. His plans are to prosper you, not harm you. So what have you got to lose by moving forward? Go for it. Don't sit back and watch everybody else go for it. You go for it. Have a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Oh, and watch the short video on avoiding law firms that have high turnover, okay? Take care.